Okay, Remedios, which one you like the most? Hereticus or astartes? Are you a loyal or a traitor? Go. Today we unboxed the new box of Warhammer, the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness. How's it going, everyone? My name is Alan, the Apathetic Fish, and today we're looking at what's inside this box of Warhammer, the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness. We've also got the liber hereticus and the liber astartes, which are pretty much the codexes for the legions. These items were sent to me by Games Workshop at no cost to me to show to you in this video. They're available for pre-order right now. If you didn't know, the Horus Heresy is different than Warhammer 40,000 in that it is about the Great Civil War before Warhammer 40,000 in the era of the Great Crusade, when legions of Space Marines turned against each other in a battle for control of the Imperium of Man. It is mostly about Space Marines battling Space Marines. The starting box is a chunky box with a ton of models ported from Forge World to the regular Games Workshop range, now in plastic, and this box is bringing 40 of the Beaky armored Mark 6 Marines to the plastic range, and a new plastic Spartan assault tank, kind of like a Land Raider, 2 Praetors, a new Contemptor Dreadnought, and 10 of the existing Cataphractii Terminators from back in the Betrayal at Calth. If you own the Betrayal at Calth or the Burning of Prospero, you might be familiar with some of these plastic kits, but this move from Games Workshop brings this specialist game from Forge World to the regular plastic range of the Games Workshop website in a full-fledged game. This is a great way to start a Horus Heresy army. The amount of plastic models here is enormous, and going through these many models by yourself is going to be a gigantic task that will take you many hours of hobbying. And if you're splitting it with a friend, it's still a great amount of models for each side to play with as a base army. To me, not only the new models are a great look for this box, but I already peeked at the rulebook included, and I was pleased to discover that I'm already familiarized with the rules. I started playing Warhammer back in 7th edition, and these rules are very much based on those rules. There is a ton of rules that give me those nostalgic vibes, and to me and some of my friends, we are very excited to try them. These rules focus more on the narrative elements of the game, where you can challenge an enemy character to a duel, position your vehicle tactically to avoid being shot at a softer facing of your vehicle, and also compare your weapon skill against your enemies to determine your accuracy in close combat. Plus, there's reactions for whenever an enemy gets too close, kind of like in Age of Sigmar. Little things like this make the game more complicated to learn, but also more cinematic. I think it's going to bring a lot of flavor to a game where the most you'll see is Space Marines versus Space Marines, and pretty much we have very similar armies in both sides. But still included on these books, the liber astartes and the liber hereticus, is going to be the special rules for fielding your army, and that it's special and different from everybody else. At this point, I don't know what legion I'll choose. They're all very cool, but of course I'm leaning traitor. Not sure if I'll do Night Lords or World Eaters, or maybe something completely different. I have some videos on the Horus Heresy when Betrayal at Calth came out, and you can find them here somewhere if you want to see one of them. As I said, the books are a sort of a codex, but more so like a compendium, where you'll find the special rules for the chosen legion depending if it's loyal or traitor. You'll find it on each of these books. In these books you'll find the generic data sheets for all the units and the weapons shared among the legions, and in further sections you'll find the specific army rules and sheets for legion specific units. Without further ado, I'm very excited to show you what's inside this box and the books, so let's take a look. This is the big box, the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness box, and it's a very chunky box. As I said, it's very thick, and let's take a look at the back. Here we can see what's inside this box. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 squads of 10 Marines of Mark 6. We have 2 of the Praetors. We have 10 Terminators, a Spartan assault tank, and a Contemptor Dreadnought. This box contains the Warhammer, the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness 326-page hardback rulebook. We had 2 rules reference sheets. We have 20 6-sided dice and 1 scattered dice. Remember that this box uses 7 edition rules, so we're going to use blast and flamer templates, and the blast templates always can scatter and stuff like that. We have the templates measuring sticks and 1 transfer sheet. And you can see here it features the Imperial Fists versus the Sons of Horus. Let's try and get it open, shall we? Right off the bat, I think this is a very beautiful box, very nicely designed. It looks very pretty. Let's open it. Have the measuring sticks. These are very plastic rulers. It has numbers on the back. We used to get this back in 7th edition and before. And we have the blast templates, very pretty. These are kind of an amber, kind of orange color. Very nice. You can see this box is chock full of plastic sprues. These are 2 identical sprues of Terminators. We got 2 identical sprues of Cataphractii Terminators. Each one has 5. They're not Legion specific, so you can make them as whatever you like, even though they're painted in their own color scheme on the box. These are 4 identical small sprues, and I believe this is like it's not an upgrade pack, but this has to be part of the kit for each of the Legionnaire squads, the Mark 6 Space Marines. Oof. And then we have the Praetor sprues. We have one of them here and the other one. Here are the 2. So here's some bad news. This sprue is all that we get for different poses of Space Marines. It's just 1 and 1 accessory sprue for the captain and whatever else. Here we have some power claw and power sword and stuff like that. They look very pretty, very nice, very clean. I think they're a little bit taller than the previous edition of Space Marines from Betrayal at Koth. Basically normal Marines. These look a little bit more scaled properly, a little bigger feet, taller leg. But the bad news is that we have just 1 sprue times 8. Just as I'm seeing them, I believe there's only 8 sprues. They're all the same, and we have 4 accessory packs. And that's going to be it. 5 times 8, that's 40 Marines. And the good thing is that the possibility of the arms can vary, because you can move them and change them around. And you can move around what kind of arms you're going to give to each Marine, so that's going to give you some variety. It is a little bit disappointing that we don't get a full kit like the other ones. We get only 5 dudes with accessories, and that's it. I believe these 2 sprues are going to be for the Dreadnought, and not like the other one. I believe this one's going to be a lot more posable. On Betrayal at Cult, we got a Dreadnought that was pretty much very static, and it wasn't allowed to move. But this one, I can see it has some joints here for the legs and stuff like that, which means that this kit's going to be a lot more posable. I hope so. And we also get more weapons. We got some last cannons, a twin link last cannon, twin link multi-melta, which was part of the previous set. We have some autocannons and some heavy bolters, and we've also should have some power fists and stuff like that in here, and some havoc launchers that go on the top and stuff like that. Looks great. It doesn't look like it's going to be one solid chunk. I hope it is. I hope it's posable like the Forge World ones, and being it plastic, that's gonna make it a very popular kit for me, because I would like to get them like pretty much for all of my Chaos Space Marine armies from 40k and for 30k as well. Wow. And I believe the rest of the sprues in the box are going to be the Spartan assault tank, and you can see here that it has the tracks and some of the hull parts. I think this might be the bottom and stuff, and it's 4 big sprues of plastic just to make the Spartan assault tank. I can see here it's not very crammed on this sprue right here. You can see all of the hull parts of the model, And this is going to be great, I think, because if plastic is a little bit more stable and it holds its shape a little bit more than the kits that were used to be available for Forge World. They're still available, I think, but resin used to warp all of the pieces a lot, and it used to be very hard to build up a model like this because things wouldn't fit unless you put them in warm water so that they heat up and then you can mold them into shape. So this is going to be great because they're going to be moving a lot of the kits to plastic that used to be only resin, and I see that there's also going to be available a Rhino and a Sycaran tank and a lot of stuff like that, and I hope they will continue to bring more kits to plastic. Hopefully, I'm hoping for upgrade sprues to specific legions of Space Marines, but in plastic, not in resin. We also got 2 more medium sprues for the kit. So the Spartan Assault tank is 4 big sprues and 2 medium sprues, and these ones pretty much have all of the weapons that go on top and the weapons that go on the side. I think these are the 2 sponsons with the quad blast cannon, I think. It looks pretty brutal. It looks pretty strong, very scary. We don't get the Tartarus Terminator squad. You can see it here. We have the Chaplain Consul. I think this one was on the Betrayal at Kalth. This one too. And any of these tanks, we don't have them yet, but I believe they're going to be available in plastic, which is awesome. Oh, okay, so we can get these with weapon upgrade sets. They're going to be sold separately so that you can use these current models, but give them some special weapons. And maybe that's another thing that's going to hold me back, because I need to think how I want to assemble my models, if I'm going to give them heavy weapons or special weapons. And if you have any leftover stuff from Forge World that you have accumulated, you can use those to upgrade your miniatures. I think it's going to be compatible, and I'm looking forward to do that too. Next comes the piece of resistance. I don't know what that means, but here comes the Age of Darkness rulebook. This one's very nicely designed. I think it gives a very dark and nostalgic vibe to the game itself. It's very black and white, very gritty, very grim dark. It looks awesome. In my opinion, whoever did the design for this book and the art, it looks top-notch. What else you got here? We got the reference sheets. We got 2 of them, and I think they look like little books. And we also get a piece of advertisement for the Horus Heresy books. If we can get them on audiobook, that would be great, because I'm going to be assembling all of this, and I need to keep my mind busy and occupied so that it's a little bit easier. Next, we have the instructions, and I believe in some section here we have the data sheets, because if you buy this box with nothing else, any of the books that come on separate, just what's in this box, you get some of the data sheets here so that you can start playing. And so here are all of the data sheets for the things included on this box so that you can start playing. And that's pretty much it. If you want to play, the different scenarios are going to be on the rulebook. So with the data sheets and the rulebook, you can start playing. You won't, I believe you won't have any of the specific Legion traits. So that's just to get you started. We got the Horus Heresy transfer sheet, 2 sets of bases, and we get a set of dice, 20 dice and a scatter die. I'm not gonna go into detail about what's everything that's in the book, but I already took a look a little bit on it. The Age of Darkness, this is an introduction of what this game is about and when is it set, which is the pre-heresy era on the age of the Great Crusade, I think. And starts with a bunch of lore about the different eras of the Imperium before the Horus Heresy. Legion Astartes, and it's going to describe a bunch of lore about how a Space Marine is made, I believe. The armor and stuff like that. So if you really want to get into the different kinds of marks of armor and different kinds of descriptions of the models, because you can make a Horus Heresy army with different kinds of armor. And because this game is sort of like a historical mode of Warhammer 40,000, and some people can get very into the lore and say, oh, that kind of armor is not for your army, it wasn't invented yet, or they didn't used to use that, or those are not the right colors. I don't care that much, but I believe some people might. We have different kinds of marks of armor, and they look very nice. And then we get descriptions of each of the legions one by one. As you can see, it's very nicely done, very nicely colored, very beautiful. It's a very pretty book to look at. Emperor's Children, their armor, their sigils, all of the stuff looks very beautiful. And if you take the time to look at each and every bit, this is a very pretty book to have. Not only for the rules, you can learn a lot about the Horus Heresy and the different factions, and you can get into very nice detail about each of the legions. And of course, what you get in this set is only the Mark 6 armor. So if you want to be really specific and use a Mark 3 armor or something else, you're going to have to get those separately. You can buy everything separately. If you want to start a little bit slower, maybe you can get the book and a couple sets of Space Marines, maybe one of your heroes from Forge World, and you can start building an army like that. And anyways, I think I should jump all of this part. Also, almost like half of the book after all of the lore that's behind. We're going to get the rules, and it's going to explain each of the concepts, what do they mean, stuff like that, characteristic profiles, how do you form a unit, talks about the blast templates that we're going to be using now, leadership tests, and then it breaks down the turn, reactions, because this time we got reactions, and whenever something else happens, you can react, moving backwards or forwards, or maybe doing something else depending on your army. And here are the core reactions that everyone can do. The movement phase, everything like that. It's going to be pretty much. And then we have some tables that I think that this is going to be a little bit complicated. But weapon strength versus target's toughness, you can find whatever you need to roll on these tables. And I think 40K has streamlined a lot of these rules a lot, so that we can get more variety on units and special rules instead of core rules. But I believe this game is going to focus more on core rules, and it's going to make them a little bit more important. Then it talks about the weapons and special rules, the assault phase, and everything like that. Characters, there's special rules for characters, as I said. Psychic powers, vehicles, yada yada. And battlefield terrain, it's going to have rules for the terrain. Then we come to the special rules, and I'm not going to go into every one of them. It's a bunch of new special rules. Hit and run, hatred, it will not die X. It's got a bunch of rules, but not all of these are going to be seen in every game. But in your data sheet or in your special rules, you're going to find that you need to reference and one of these special rules. You're going to have to look it up. Then it has some showcases of models, so that you can see the different legions all built up and painted, so that you can get inspired if you want to do one of those. And it goes over how do you prepare for a battle and how do you make your force organization chart, which is pretty much like detachments in Warhammer 40,000. And we have allies and enemies. We have this chart of which legions can be friends and be allies in a game, because you can bring different allies. Some of the rules will not allow you to do that. Some of the rules require you to bring only one faction, but some rules can be compatible, and some of the legions are pretty much friends. And we have a battlefield showcase where you can see some examples of battlefield terrain. So these are the different missions to play this game. And there you can see the descriptions, the type of deployments. Night fighting, I remember that. And here are the descriptions of the missions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different missions. And maybe we'll get more in supplements. Psychic disciplines. And I think that's going to be pretty much it for this book. So that's going to be pretty much for the book, and this is all you need to start playing, because you got this and the data sheets, but you don't get the special rules if you just get this set. For that you need one of these. You need either the liber astartes or the liber hereticus. Because I'm a heretic, I've always liked being a rebel. I just like the villains because they have a more interesting backstory, and they believe they're right. They believe they have the right to do the things they do, but they are misguided or broken in a sense. And it's much more interesting than being just a goody two-shoes guy that always do the right thing, because they have their reasons, and they're good reasons. They're just broken in a way, or just wrong. So the liber hereticus, I'm going to go over this one first, because I like heretics, and if you see the contents here, is going to go over the different kinds of data sheets for all of the available non-legion specific data sheets for things that you can bring. It also goes, after that is going to go into the different legion specific stuff, including their special rules and stuff like that. And you can see here very beautiful artwork, very beautiful. I really like these books. They look very grimdark, mostly black and white. Okay, so it goes over the force organization charts again, and the different factions, if they can be allies or not. And it's going to go over the different data sheets for non-specific, for not chapter specific or legion specific units, like a legion praetor, cataphractic praetor, legion centurion, stuff like that. And it's going to go over the HQs, the troops, the heavy support, everything like that. And I'm not going to go into that right now. Then we go into a section of rights of war, some special rules that you can get for your legion, and there's some generic ones, and there's some specific ones. These ones you choose before the battle, and whatever you want to do with your army. You can get different ways of playing. Not only because you have world eaters, it means that you're going to be a crazy butcher that's going to assault whatever it's in front of them. There's a couple different rights of war, so that you can play a little bit different each time. So there you can see all of the different rights of war. Here are the Legionis Astartes special rules that are going to, this is your reference for whenever you see a special rule on a data sheet. The data sheet is just going to say what you get. For example, maybe you get inertial guidance systems for maybe a tank or something like that. It's just going to say that on the data sheet. You have to look it up here. And then we go into the armory and the descriptions of the different weapons, the war gear, frag grenades, flare shields. And then we get the traitor Legionis Astartes rules. All of the different legions are going to get this kind of format. We go to the Emperor's Children. We get here their army rule. We have the special rule here. We have some warlord traits and different relics that you can get down here. Here are the warlord traits. The rights of war, which is the different ways you can play your legion. It's going to have some special rules depending on what the personality of your legion is. And then we have a special armory of the Emperor's Children for the Emperor's Children, where the different weapons that are only special to them are going to be here. And then we're going to go into the data sheets. We got here Fulgrim. We got his special rules here on this side. And then we have Phoenix Terminators for them too. Palatine Blade Squad. Cacophony Squad, which is sonic weapons, I would believe. Lord Commander Eidolon. And these are pretty much the named characters, and Legion specific units. And it goes into a very nicely done gallery of drawings where you can see the color schemes if you want to be go by the book pretty much. And we have some of the samples of their vehicles. They look so pretty. And then we got the miniatures painted up by the studio and how they're supposed to look. Oh, they look so nice. They look so pretty. I like them very much. And pretty much it goes on repeat for all of the traitor legions. Here we go and see the Iron Warriors, the World Eaters gallery here, Death Guard, all of that. Pretty much that's the whole book. We finish with the Alpha Legion, very beautiful models, very nicely painted. I like them a lot. And then we get some artwork, and that's going to be it for this book. Now for the liber astartes is going to be pretty much the same as the liber hereticus. This one's going to be about the Loyalist, you can say. It's going to be pretty much the same artwork in the beginning. But if you look at the table of contents, it's very similar as well. We got the non-specific data sheets, and then it goes into the rules for each of the legions. It's going to go through Dark Angels, White Scars, Space Wolves, Imperial Fists, the Blood Angels, the Iron Warriors, the Ultramarines, Salamanders, and Raven Guard. Pretty much the same format, different artwork in some places. And we go into the army lists, the force organization charts, the allies in the Game of Darkness, all of the non-specific models, and same as the other book. A little bit different in some of the artwork, but some I believe it might be the same. And once we go through all of that, then we're going to go to the sections that go through the Loyalist Legionis Astartes. And these are going to be starting with the Dark Angels. As well, we got the chapter specific rules, or the Legion specific rules, their arsenal, and the warlord traits and stuff. And it goes through the warlord traits, rights of war, the armory for their specific weapons, and the data sheets for the characters and legion specific units, such as Lionel Johnson, their Primarch. And we go to the drawings of the legion, where you can see where the colors go, where the markings go, and how they should look if you're going to go by the book. There's different kinds of armor. Looks very nice. Wow, I'm not gonna lie, they look very nice. I like this dark color. The green for 40k, I don't like the Dark Angels green, but the Dark Angels black and their iconography and their drawings look very, very nice. And then we go through the section of the painted models from the studio. This is their Primarch. All very nice, all very nice. And then we go through the White Scars and yada yada yada, all of the different kinds of Loyalist Space Marines, the Space Wolves, Imperial Fists. You know them and you love them. And that's going to be all for this book, I believe. You can see here some salamanders, and that's all. I think the basics you need to start playing Warhammer Horus Heresy, if you don't have anything, it's going to probably be the big box if you want to start it big. If you want to start small, you can split it up with a friend so that you don't spend that much money. Both of you will have a copy of the rulebook so that you can start playing, and you're going to need one of these books, either the Legionis Astartes or the Hereticus. And if you're both loyalists, then you can get just one book and share it. But if you're going to be one good guys and bad guys, each one of you are gonna need one of these books. These books are more like compendiums where you can see all of the different legion traits. Instead of having a specific codex for each of the factions, we got one big book that covers all of that. And with that, you'll be ready to play. If you want something else, you want to get really specific on what you need, and you don't want the models that come in the box, maybe you can get the rulebook and the army books, the Liber Hereticus or Astartes, And you can start small with a couple units of whatever mark armor you want. I think they're going to be available, all of the ones that have been available so far that came in the previous box sets and this. Also, you can get models from Forge World and combine them with your army, and you can get specific ornaments and different weapons for each of your legions. If it's not available in plastic yet, you would probably be able to get it on the Forge World website. What else? You're going to need the templates, but this might be available for previous versions games in the past. And Necromunda, you might already have one of these sets. I hope you found this video interesting and then you got the information you needed if you're going to purchase any of these products. I hope I was clear. I hope you don't have any, all of your questions may have been answered. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section below and I'll answer them as they come. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you did, please like the video, comment below and subscribe to the channel to not miss any new uploads. You can also follow all of my links in the description below. So thank you very much for watching and I'll hope to see you on the next video.